Okay, so in today's session, I'm going to record this lesson as a revision for next week examination. I'll be explaining everything we took in Excel program. The first thing is to know the components of the Excel sheet. Okay, so here we have those columns. Each one has a header, and they are highlighted with letters. Those are rows, and they are highlighted with numbers. The intersection between column and row is called a cell. So each one of those is called a cell. When you select any one of those cells, you will find its name is represented on the name box at the top left corner of your sheet. So again, this is called the name box. If you are selecting many cells or a range of cells similar to this one, in this situation, you have to call the range of cells from C1 or C3 up to I13. Okay, this is how we name the range of cells. And if you took a look at the name box now, it's representing only the first cell in this range. Okay, I'll try quickly to insert random data of some of the students, like the name of a student and some of his marks, like ICT mark, math mark, English, and Arabic, the total mark, the average mark, and the minimum mark, and the maximum mark. And here, if a statement to display an output according to a condition, if but with AND operator, and this one I'm going to explain it in details later on, and if or. Let's add here some random names. I'll add some marks, and the output or the maximum mark of those marks or those grades will be 100. So let's add the marks here. Okay guys, so after adding random marks to each single student of those, we have two ways to display or to calculate the total mark. The manual way is to insert the formula or the equation to calculate the total manually using the keyboard. But you have to keep in mind the entire time that the golden rule of Excel program that all formulas must start with equal sign. Again, all formulas must start with equal sign. So even if you're inserting the formula manually using the keyboard or using the auto sum, which you're going to explain it later, you're going to start it with the equal sign. So equal sign, and then you can add the cells by clicking the cell with the mouse pointer, or let's complete the equation by adding like a plus sign. You can type the name, so C2. So you can mention the cell name, typing it, or selecting it with the mouse pointer like that. So we want to add those four cells together to display the total mark for this student. There is no need to repeat this process for each single student. We have something called autofill technique. There is a small square at the bottom right corner of the cell. If you stand above it, the mouse pointer is going to change to small black plus sign. Then press it and hold it down to display the rest of the answers. Okay? The other way to display the output or the total is to go to the auto sum icon, and then from the auto sum icon you can choose the sum. The program is going to make a pre-selection. If this selection is correct and accurate, press enter to display the output. So again, the automatic way to display the total, you can press here the auto sum icon arrow and choose sum. The program is going to make a selection. If this selection is correct and accurate, just press enter to display the output and then do the autofill technique to display the rest of the answers. Okay, let's repeat it one more time with the average. So again, from auto sum, choose average, select the cells or reselect the cells, because by default the program is going to select any numerical cell before it. Check. When I selected the average, the program selected all the numerical cells, including the total. But to get the accurate average, I have to exclude it. So I'm selecting only the subjects. Press enter to display. I will do it again for the minimum. Min, select the cells of the subjects, press enter. The maximum, I'll do the same. Select the cells of the subjects, press enter. I can now select those two cells and drag them down to display all the outputs using the autofill technique. Let's go now to the if statement. The if statement, guys, is used to display an output according to a condition. It can be inserted through two ways again, manual way and the automatic way. I will be explaining it using the manual way so you can understand the components of it, and also the if and if or. But if you want to insert it automatically, all what you need to do is to press here the auto sum, go to more functions, and then if it's not listed in this menu, you can search for it in here. You can search, for example, delete the previous sentence and type if. Press go. All the if functions or all the functions related to the if are going to be listed in here. Double click it. Can you see? The program is going to lead and help you to insert it. The logical test, the value of true and value of false. But for today, I'm going to explain the manual way to insert it, so you can understand clearly the components of it. So again, I must start with an equal sign. As I said at the beginning, all formulas must start with equal sign. Then if. Double click the if to activate it. Double click the if to activate it. Here you have three parts. The first part is called logical test. The logical test is reflecting your condition. The logical test is reflecting your condition. I'm going to set a condition for the average, which is in cell G2. If cell G2 greater than or equal to 60, this is my condition. Comma, to go to the value of true. Can you see there is a separation value, which is a comma, between those two components? In some devices, you can see this separation value. Instead of being a comma, it can be semicolon. The comma, you will find it on your keyboard directly above the space on the Arabic letter waw, or the semicolon, it's directly on the kaf letter on the left side of the enter button. Okay, you can insert both without shift. So here the value if true, the value if true. This one you can insert it as a fixed text. If it's a text, it has to be inserted between double speech marks. To insert the double speech marks, it has to be inserted while pressing the shift button. Press the shift button and the speech mark double times, and here you can type, for example, pass, to say this student has passed. Comma, to add a separation, to move to the third part of the if statement, and then double speech marks one more time, and then fail. After that, you can close the bracket and press enter to apply. Select the very first student and then do the autofill technique one more time. As you can see, the outputs are displayed according to the values of the grade, the values of the average grade. Let's move now to the if and if or. For those two, we are using them, or we're adding them to combine between conditions. Each one of them is used to combine between two or more conditions. But the difference between the and the or is the if and is used when we need all conditions to be true. All the conditions we're using in this statement has to be or have to be true. For example, I can consider the student passed if he passes all the subjects without failing any one of them. On the other hand, the or operator, if only one subject is passed, the entire argument is passed, or the student is going to be passed if he passed only one subject. So let's check the difference between both. And this one, I'm going to add inside it 4 conditions, not only one this time. I'm going to add inside it 4 conditions, okay? But mainly I'll be asking you to insert 2 conditions. I'll be explaining today 4 so you can understand it like easier than previously. Equal sign, inside it if, double click the if to activate it. And instead of inserting the conditions directly, here you're typing and. Double click the and to activate it. The shape of the if statement now change it to be containing logical 1 and logical 2. Each one of them is reflecting a condition. The first one, I'm setting it for the ICT mark. It has to be greater than or equal to 60, comma. The second condition for math, greater than or equal to 60 as well. And I'll keep doing that, adding a separation as a comma for each single subject, greater than or equal to 60. The Arabic subject as well. Can you see what happened when I missed adding the comma? The program displayed an error message and is waiting for a comma to move to logical 4 or the condition number 4, which will be for the Arabic mark. It has to be also greater than or equal to 60. And then when you're finished adding the conditions, close the bracket. The program will take you back again to the normal view of the if statement. Add a comma to move to the value if true. Now we can write a word to be displayed for the user, like accepted. Yes, exactly. It has to be contained between double speech marks. And then comma, and again comma, double speech marks one more time, and you can close the bracket here and you can write rejected. Okay. Press enter to display the output. Drag down, okay, to display the output. So yes, only one student is accepted. Do you know what is the reason? Yes, not good marks. He matched the conditions we set in each single subject. He has a value greater than or equal to 60 in each single one. Let's check the exact opposite of the if and formula. Okay, so let's copy this one. It's already finished. Let's copy the if and paste it here. Double click it to adjust it. I'm only replacing the and operator with or operator, and press double left click to activate it. Okay, the very first student still accepted, but let's check the rest. All of them are accepted. Why? Because each single one of them, while adding their marks, I was trying to assure that he has only one subject that passed or greater than 60. Okay, I'll try to minimize the column sizes by making auto size. To do that, you stand between the columns and press double left click. The program is going to do auto sizing or auto fit. This technique is called auto fit, to change the column size according to the biggest word or the biggest text inside it. Here I'm going to add a nested if. The nested if, this type. Nested if, we combine between more than one if statement. Like if I want to display the grades for students, okay? So for this one, I'll do it also manually, equal, and then F, double click the F to activate it. I'll be doing it for the average as well. If this one is greater than or equal to, or let's make the first one equal to 100, comma, the value of true will be the following. The value of true will be A star. If the student got equal to 100, he's going to have A star. And instead of adding the value of false, I'm going to start another if statement. Again, if G2 greater than or equal to 95, then display the following between double speech marks. The student is going to have A grade. Let's proceed. So instead of, again, moving to the value of false, I'm starting another if statement. Double click the new if statement for the average. If it's greater than or equal to 90, comma, between double speech marks. Let's change this one to be A plus, so I can add an A and A minus. This one will be A, and then outside the speech marks, add a comma, and then inside the value of false, you start another if statement.
You already have two A stars.
Again?
You already have two A.
This is star. This is A star and this is A plus. Okay? So here, double click the F to activate it one more time for the average as well. If it's greater than or equal to 85, comma, between double speech marks, and then A minus, comma, and instead of closing, you add another F, double click the F to activate it, again for G2 if it's greater than or equal to 80, comma, between double speech marks, you add here the value of true, which is going to be B plus, move outside, comma, another new if statement, double click it, set the condition for the G2 greater than or equal to 75, comma, the value of true will be only B, comma, and then start another if statement, and you keep doing it until you reach the desired stop point, greater than or equal to, which one is 75, so this one is 70, comma, double speech marks, B minus, move outside, add a comma, start another if statement, C plus, we're almost finished, comma, the if statement, double click it, G2 again, greater than or equal to 60, comma, double speech marks, inside it, C, move outside, start another if statement, double click it for G2 greater than or equal to 55, comma, double speech marks, and then the value if true is C minus, and in here there is no need to add another if statement. The last one, there is no need to add another if statement. I will putting or I will be inserting only the value if false directly, which is going to be D between double speech marks. And then in here we have to close all the opened brackets. So I'll be closing the brackets until I reach the black one. Okay, so I will be closing all the brackets until I reach the black one. Then press enter. Drag down all the grades for each single student. Okay, let's move now to the count formulas. I will be explaining now the count A, count blank, and count if. Okay, let's move them so I don't ruin any of those. Okay, add it here, double click. Okay, so the count, guys, counts the number of cells containing numbers. So again, the count works to count the number of cells containing numbers. To insert it, you type equal count, double click the count to activate it, select the range of cells you want to check the cells containing numbers in, close the bracket, press enter to apply. It says you have 64 cells filled with numbers. The count A. The count A displays the number of cells that are filled with anything, whatever that thing is. So again, count A displays the number of cells that's filled with anything. Equal count A, select the range of cells from A1 till M9, close the bracket, press enter. It says you have 117 cells. And Countblank, this one is used to count the empty cells. Count, double click the Countblank, select the range of cells, close it, press enter. CountF, this one counts the cells according to a condition. So equal count, double click CountF, select the range of cells, and then here add a comma to move to the criteria, which is your condition. I want to count the number of cells which has a value greater than or equal to 200. So we have 7 cells containing those values. I'll try to mess up now or to adjust some of my entries. For example, Mu'min's mark. Okay, his total mark or his average so far is 186. What's going to happen if I deleted his ICT mark or his ICT grade? Check what's going to happen, because we might have some changes in here and in here and in here as well. So as soon as I change it, this mark, his overall grade is changed. I think one of those is changed as well, and the counters now are changed. So if I tried to reinsert it again, increasing his mark, okay, again the counters changed and also the overall grade is changed. So any change you do to the table, it's going to affect any formula depending on them. For example, all those formulas starting from here are depending on those values. So if you changed anything in here, it's going to affect the values in here and also inside the counters. So far, do we have any problem? Okay. So this is for sheet 1. Let's move now to the Vlookup function. Let's move to the Vlookup function. The Vlookup function, guys, is used to display an output according to an entry, like the cashier device. When he enters the code of a product, everything related to that product is displayed on the screen. To do that, I'm inserting a new column at the beginning of this table, and I'm calling it student code. I'll give the very first student this code, grade 12, first class, first student. Grade 12, first class, second student. And then I can select the first and second, and selecting or pressing the square at the bottom right corner, drag down, the program is going to do the autofill with the same sequence, adding 1 to each single value. Okay? Then I have to do this step. Select the entire table from the beginning till the end, and inside the name box, give it a name, like students. You have to press enter here. After adding the name, you have to press enter. So now this table is saved as a student. In sheet 2, you need only to copy the headers. So again, at the beginning, copy the headers and paste them. You can also do the auto fit technique before inserting the numbers. And let's start the Vlookup function. So in here, I'm going to write down the code, which might be 12, 1, 1. Okay? In here, I need the program to display all the results related to this code. Let's start with the very first one. Equal sign, just write VLO, the VLOOKUP value or the VLOOKUP function is going to be displayed to you. Double click it to activate it. It has 4 parts to be inserted. The first one is the lookup value. In which place you want the program to search. I want the program to search according to the entry in this cell, which is called A2. Second thing, table array. The table array we inserted is called students. I just wrote st, and as you see, it's listed in here. Double click it to activate it. Third thing, column index number. From which column you need to get the name. The name is in the second column, so here I'm inserting number 2 to represent the second column. Comma. Last option, the range lookup. Do you need approximate match or exact match? I need exact match. I need exact output. So here I'm inserting false. I can, instead of inserting false, I can insert 0. So 0 for exact match, 1 for approximate match, or false for exact match and true for approximate match. Then close the bracket and press enter. If you're not inserting this code, don't panic when you see not applicable appears to you. So again, you can insert the code now, and then the results are going to be displaying to you. If I tried now to do the autofill technique to the right side, it's not going to display any outputs because, as you see in this one, the values are moved to the second cell and third cell and so on. To prevent that from happening, we need to do the following. We need to convert the value of the cell A2 to be absolute cell value by adding the $sign at the beginning of the cell name and at the middle of the cell name as well. In this situation, when I try to drag down to the right side, the program is going to display outputs. But as you see, it's displaying only Bara''s name. To display the content in the cell reflecting the content from the previous column in sheet 1, I have to change the column index number. I have to change the column index number because this one is the third column, not the second. So when I change this one to be 3, the value of the ICT mark is going to be displayed, and I'll keep doing it, increasing the value of the column index number for each one. And this one, unfortunately, it has to be done manually. Sorry, this is 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. We need now to do right click. We need now to do right click between each 2 columns to do the auto fit technique. If I tried now to change this code, in any other code like 12.01.02, press enter, the results related to Amjad are going to be displayed. If I try to change it to 12.01.05, for example, the results related to Jad are going to be displayed. Okay, so far do we have any problem? Okay. Yes?
Now, if you drag down the code, does it show everything like the previous table?
There is no need to do that actually. There is no need to do that. I have it already inside this table. I have it already fixed in this
There's
table.
another one, like the same one with another sheet. If you drag it down, does it show the whole thing?
If we change this value,
If you drag down the code,
can you see what happened? The value in here is changed to be 12.01.01. It's still displaying the same thing. It's copying the output. So there is no need to do that. Okay? It's used only like the cashier device. When he enters the code of a product, it displays all the information related to it. Okay, this is the function of it. Okay, so let's get back to the conditional formatting. I'll start now firstly with the normal formatting, which is adding like borders to select the table, and here from the borders icon you can choose all borders, change the alignment to be center and middle aligned vertically. If you wanted to change bold, italic and underline to do it for the text, it's up to you. You can also change the font face, font size, and let's move to something called conditional formatting. The conditional formatting can be applied to the cells to highlight them according to some rules. We didn't went deep in this previously, so I will be excluding it for now for the test, but I'm going to include it in the upcoming project. One more thing before we finish is the data validation. The data validation and the data validation options. Data validation and data validation options. So if I want to force the user to insert a specific entry inside those cells, for example for the name, the user can only insert letters with a specific amount. For example, the maximum value he can insert in this column is up to 10 or 11 characters, guys. So select the column and go to the data tab. From data tab, go to data validation and then choose the first option, data validation. Settings, allow the user to insert what? Text length. It has to be text, and between 0 as a minimum value, maximum value can be 10. So the maximum value the user can insert in this cell is 10 characters. Press OK. If I tried now to change Zaid's name to be Muhammad Zaid and press enter, the program is going to display an error message. The program is going to display an error message, so I have to cancel my change. Again, I will be doing it for the subject marks as well. So again, select the marks, go to data validation, choose data validation options, the first one. Then I need the entry for those cells to be a whole number between 0 as a minimum value, 100 as a maximum value, and in here I'm going to include an input message. This input message will be displayed to the user at the beginning, even before he enters the text inside or the values inside those cells. The title of it can be input message, and you can ask the user to please insert a value between 0 and 100. Press OK. Can you see each cell I stand above right now? It displays the input message. Please insert a value between 0 and 100. This is how you can give instructions to people who are using the same Excel sheet. Okay, one more thing. The error message. From again, data validation options. Go to the third tab, which is called error alert. From it, you can choose the style of the icon to be displayed to the user. Let's choose this one, for example, and you can type here error message, and here you can ask the user to please input a valid entry. Press OK. If you tried now to change a value of those cells to be -1, for example, the program displayed an error message, actually the same error message we assigned to it inside the data validation options. Okay guys, so that was all for today. I hope you understood everything and you can use this video as your revision reference.